Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be making use of our pattern paper before we transfer it to our fabric. And the first thing I am doing is to mark a straight line to serve as our starting point. And then I'm taking out 4 inches because it's an off shoulder, so I took out about 4 inches, and then my measurement is going to be starting from my 4 inches. So the next thing I marked is my chest line, which is at 7 inches, and then I marked my half length, which is at 12 inches. I'm going to go ahead and connect all these lines. Once I am done with it, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark my neckline, and for the width of my neckline I am marking at 2.5 inches. And then for the length of it, I'm going down from that starting point by 2 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect the 2 lines, the 2 points. Once I am done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take quarter of my bust measurement. That's my bust measurement divided by 4. All our allowances will be transferred to our fabric while transferring to our fabric. So I'm going to be joining the neck width to the bust measurement that I just marked with my curve. Once I am done with that, I'm going to go ahead and mark my waist measurement divided by 4. Just like I said, all allowances will be added to the fabric while transferring this to our fabric. So I'm going to connect my bust point and my waist point. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, please take 1 minute and subscribe to this channel that have beautiful style for our princesses. So for the back one, I added 1 inch allowance for my zipper, and then for my back measurement for my back neckline, I went down by 1 inch just to extend the back neckline, and then I'm going to trace out the neck width. Then you can see how I connected my zipper allowance from my back neckline. It's just with a straight line, so it's not going to be slanting towards the zipper allowance. I'll cut out every other side the same, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect the neck width to the 1 inch neckline we went down for the back neckline. So you can see how it is, and then I'm going to go ahead and transfer this to my fabric, and I'm adding ½ inch all around. Then for my seam side I added 1.5 inches. For every other side I added ½ inch for stitching allowance, and also did the same thing for the back one. Just like you can see, it has ½ inch every other side, but for the seam side it has 1.5 inches. And I'm using the same fabric for my lining, but if you have your normal lining, please go ahead and use it to cut it out. But I'm using the same fabric, that's why my is 2 pieces for the front and then 2 pieces for the back. So this is the stripe that we'll be using as a slip. For the width of it, I have 2 inches, and then for the length, remember we took out 8 inches, so I have 9 inches here. I added ½ inch. I added 1 inch that we used to add it to the gown. That's ½ inch on both sides. So I'll fold to 2 sides and then fold it in and stitch it down. So this is the fabric I will be using for the gather side. When you look at the style, you see that the gather is not too full, so I have just about double of my waist measurement. It's not up to double self. And then for the length of it, I just deducted my half length and I marked the remaining one. So I'm going to go ahead and gather the upper side, and then for the hem one I am stitching it down by the allowance that I added. Then back to our bodice, I'm going to go ahead and open my front bodice. So one of it is for our allowance, don't forget. So I'm going to go ahead and put this fabric stripe into the front of the main fabric, and I will go ahead and pin this down, and I'll also attach the other one. Remember, I'm attaching it to the front side of the fabric, of the Ankara fabric. I'm using an Ankara, and for this tie I am using 1.5 yards. And then I will use my lining to cover this, and I will start pinning it down all around. The first place I'm going to pin is that curved place, so that I'll make sure that I have it together, and then I'll start pinning every other side. Once I am done with this, I'll go out to my sewing machine and then stitch it all around from one armhole to the neckline to the other side of the armhole. And I'll repeat the same process for the back one once I am done. Then I'll make notches around every part that needs to be notched before turning it to the right side. And while stitching this down, please make sure that the stripe that you stitch it, you give it extra stitching, because this is a child cloth, you can pull out at any time. Then for the back one, you see the way I placed the front bodice before attaching that stripe to the fabric, to the back bodice. Please go ahead and do the same, so that when you are done, you make sure that it's going to correspond with you. The right side is going to correspond with the right side, and then the wrong side with the wrong side. I'm going to use my neck to lining to cover this, just like we did for the front one, and then pin it down before going to my sewing machine to stitch it. And this is it after I'm done. Just like we did for the front one, I'm going to make notches around all the curved area and then turn it to the right side. And once I am done with that, I'm going to do right facing each other, and I'll stitch it down with the same side, with the same allowance that I added. So this is the gather. You can see that it's not so full, just a scanty gather like we saw in the style. And this is my bodice. I am done stitching it down as well, and we are going to go ahead and stitch this down and join them together. And I am doing front facing front as well, and I'll start from the beginning and stitch it down all the way to where it ends. This is it after stitching it down. Remember not to gather your zipper allowance while gathering it. So this is it after I was done. I'm going to go ahead and arrange the clothes so that we can open it up the slit. Once I am done with this, I am from the side seam, and my slip is going to be at the right side. From the side seam I'm going in by about 4 inches, and then I'm going to trace it. I don't want to mark it on the fabric because this is the front side, so I'm going to just trace it with my eye or with my hand, whichever, and then I'm going to slit this open. If you look at the style, you can see that this slit is very open, it's very high, almost saying it's very high, but for me mine is not going to be that open, so I'm just opening it up by mine started about 25 inches down. That's almost to the knee length. I don't want it to be too open, so that's why I started there. Once I am done slitting it, I'm going to go ahead and fold this by half of an inch, very tiny something, or you can use your fabric bias to do this, to turn it, but for me I folded it. So this is it after I was done. The next thing I'm going to do is to close up my zipper allowance and then attach my zip, and that's basically all for this style. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you find value in this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button and join the family. Don't forget to share my videos to family and friends, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.